What is going on, guys? DasDemands here, and just wanted to kind of introduce myself here. So, I've been playing Magic the Gathering since I was probably about 15 years old, 14 years old, so about 10 years now, and I never in my life thought that I would even consider making a YouTube video or even starting a channel, but you know what? After all this time, I've decided that it is, in fact, something I want to do. I've tried streaming in the past, but this is honestly something that I have just wanted to do for a long time, and enough is enough on the waiting part. So I just decided let's get right into it. And so with that, I figured that I would just give you guys a little bit of an introduction to one of my favorite types of decks. Something I've always been passionate about, and kind of getting into Magic when Affinity was one of the more popular, still is popular in Modern, but one of the more popular types of decks in Standard getting into Magic, I wanted to do something similar in Standard. Now I know that one of my great idols, CGB, Keruga Blue, made a Dimir Tezzeret artifact deck, and I liked it. However, it just was not for me, right? Um, Issues that I saw with that were that you would lay down your creatures early and they would basically just get wiped away, right? Now, turn 4, we want our Solemn Silmicrum to go down. But the reason that we're not running Miriam is because for 3 mana, we get a 2/2 that taps for 2. I have yet to really see that stay around. It dies to Shock, it dies to Bone Crusher Giant, it dies to just about any 3 mana kill spell, even 3 mana burn spells, board sweepers, you name it. So I wanted to just skip that, and we're just going for straight ramp. This deck struggles, I will admit, against aggro. However, against control decks, we actually do pretty well because our main goal is just to ramp, and if they want to sit onto a bunch of counter spells, that's fine. We'll make them use them. We have several win conditions here, two of which are, Ugin and Tezzeret. If we get Tezzeret out on the field, this deck will win in 3 turns. Tez is definitely a 3-turn win condition if you could start going to town with these many artifacts on the field. So, our entire goal here that we're running otherwise, we're running 12 mana dorks with our 3 mana artifacts. We have 3 golden eggs to draw cards and sift through our deck quickly. We're running 26 lands. You'll notice that I am only running 4 black mana through our Watery Graves. I don't feel the need for swamps in this deck because of how many different ways we have to produce color, any color mana that we need. Other win condition is Ugin, as usual. Get him in the field, go to town. And then we also have ways to interact with the board through Baron Tolarian. And if we really want to, we can actually throw down a Planeswalker minus the ability and then have Baron come in and return the Planeswalker to our hand and draw a card. But I think the rest of it kind of makes sense here on what we're going with. It's actually a very consistent deck. And if we need, Karn has lots of different tools here to interact with our artifacts. So with that, alright, on the play. This is a little slow. Typically we want to see 2 mana dorks, however I am not going to pass this up, playing first with 4 lands. And the coolest thing about this is that often they'll see Watery Grave come down and immediately think Dimir. This looks like we're playing it against red deck wins. And as CGB says, mono red, super fun. I could definitely go ahead and start singing mono the mono red song. However, I will leave that as a trademark to CGB. Kind of keep on with my own. I don't know, maybe we'll think of something like that. Mono red having a difficult time thinking what they want to do. Go face, big shocker. Get the Altar of the Pantheon on the field so that we can start looking to ramp here shortly. Annex. I think what we want to do is get Karn on the field, look to the sideboard early. Force some of their attacks away. If they are holding on to an Embercleave, we are going to be in a lot of trouble. What are we looking for early? Golos? Have a solid blocker on the field. I think Golos is a good choice. If they don't have another haste creature, they're going to have to look to attack Karn here. Okay. So Tin Street's going to be able to knock out Karn. Annex is going face. Take 7.
I do not feel pain.
Take 5. My bad. I forgot the Cavaclades
There is always an
only deal 1 damage when it's 1/1 swinging. So I think this next play is pretty simple. I think we get Golos down. We'll gain the 2 life because mono red. Alright, so we're taking a lot of damage here. If they have Embercleave or some way to knock this out, I think Wiz is just game. Yeah, that's game. Alright, we're on the play. 3 lands, golden egg to give us a 2-drop. We have mana and 2 win cons. I don't really care for this. I wish that we had another mana dork here, but beggars can't be choosers. And we're not going to show the Radiant Fountain. Often this will turn off people to the idea that we are playing something like this. Second Ugin. And we're playing against Mill, and we will struggle against Mill, so. But that's alright. There's Tutelage. They are going to be At least we're tearing through a bunch of cards that we don't want. The only cards that we really wanted there were the chromatic. I don't see anything that we really want here. Let's just get Baron on the field. It's fine. We just want to look to keep ramping here. Fairy Time Master is going to start making us go through our deck very quickly, as long as we can get Ugin on the field. We are in good shape. However, we could actually just look to Mass Manipulate here. Third Ugin. And I think that's what we're going to want to do. It's just Mass Manipulate. We'll have access to our Ugin very quickly here. Four, five, six mana on the field. We'll have access to our 7th here shortly. And they're only about halfway through our deck. So far looking good. That's what we needed. Silmacrom, I think that's a good draw. There's nothing worth going after there. That's game. Mill decks, huh? On the draw, with no ramping other than Silmacrom. Sure, why not? We are going to look very poorly at first, but we should be able to catch up here. All we have to do is hit an Ugin. So that's definitely not sticking around. Let's Baron get that Rotting Regisaur out of there. If we have to, we'll throw the Solemn Silmacrom in there next. Just gotta preserve the life total at this point. We just keep ramping, and eventually we'll hit our Ugin, be able to board swipe, board clear, and it'll be good to go. There's our Ugin. damage here. They're likely going to get the rest of their cards out on the field, and then we just Ugin them away. Is ideally how this goes. Yep. There it is. As simple as that. Just very, very simple deck. All we do is just look for our three mana dorks artifacts and keep going. On the play, 3 mana, a mana dork, Baron, and 2 Ugins. I don't see why not. Golden Egg, mine are nicer. Opt. Do we think we're playing against Temur Reclamation? I don't see why not. Temur Reclamation seems like the only valid. Are we a Quencher? Oh yeah. We are a Quencher. Simic Flash with a bunch of counter spells. And we will let them counter everything early. Frilled Mystic. This is such a fun game. We love interacting. I think it's gonna be another Frilled Mystic. No? Wow. Night Pack Ambusher. Either me another Night Pack Ambusher, or we have a counter spell of some kind. Yep. On the draw, I think that we have a shot. Unfortunately, this is very slow for the first 3 turns, as all Keruga decks are. But the goal of this deck is very, very simple. We just want to ramp and throw down a win condition as early as turn 5. That's what we were looking to do. That way it makes it extremely easy to learn, extremely easy to play. This deck is not competitive by any nature. Just one of my favorite decks to play because I love the artifacts, especially once you get Tezzeret down. represent tokens of some kind. I think we could afford to take one more turn of damage and aggressiveness from the opponent. I think we want to push for more mana. Missed the land, which is going to be unfortunate unless we pick up a land next turn. But either way, I think our plan is pretty straightforward. It's a cat tribal deck. I'm willing to sacrifice some of the damage here. That is unfortunate. I think at this point we're just trying to preserve our life total and wait until we have enough to get Ugin on the field. If we don't draw a land next turn, we do have enough to finally mass manipulate, so I think we're going to try to mass manipulate. Cupboard should slow things down. And now we just start slamming Solemn Silmacrumps to get more mana on the field. I think is what we do. Oof. But at this point, we're at least going to be able to gain some HP back. They'll be swinging away every turn. We're just looking to hold on for dear life here, preserve the life total as best we can. Each other creature gets plus 2. That is not what we were looking for, but we can still survive. I'm very okay with sacrificing Keruga here. So I think what we want is to just go for land, because we need blockers on the field. And just sit tight here, best we can. Hold on for dear life. If we can get Ugin on the field, we'll win. Alright, so we're going for 4. Board is cleared. Now we're ready to just keep rocking and rolling with our game plan. Game plan from here out is just start slamming Ugin +2s. I think I'm going to slam down my Silmacrums here, get more mana on the field. And next turn we'll throw down Tezzeret, play Karn for free, go grab an artifact, and start to shift this game our way. Because right now we'll be looking at dealing 5 per turn.
I will defend my allies.
Play Keruga for basically free. Feline goes away. Go grab an artifact from our deck. What do we think is going to be a good choice here? Parhelion? Win by Parhelion? Actually, I think Golos is the way to go, because we can play Golos for free.
Consider this more power.
Artifacts give them strength.
Oh, I didn't even think about it. We could have thrown down Tezzeret at 1 right there, actually. Throw a couple lifelinkers down, sure. At this point it doesn't matter. It was mostly land. We didn't hit a single artifact. That sucks, but hey, at this point, it doesn't matter. We just slam it for 0. Knock out the lifelinkers. Put Parthelion into effect.
There is great power.
Start swinging away. 2 white angels coming down. And swing for a lot. And that is the artifact deck that actually gets to play. Once we start getting to have some fun and start playing, we just start going to town. Once we can start touching the sideboard a little bit. Alright, recap here. We did not get any games really, other than a couple here and there against... I don't know why that's a commander. We were playing against anything other than extremely aggressive decks that could just get by everything we were using. We lost to... we literally lost to red deck wins to a bunch of enchantment decks that just threw all that glitters down. So I wish I had more time here today to give you better games with this deck, because this deck is actually quite powerful when you're playing against control decks. Best of ones, they're not anticipating you coming at them. Ugin does nothing against this deck. If the game goes long enough, you can use mass manipulation to steal 1, 2. I've already had games go long enough where I've been able to steal their 3 biggest threats. And when you steal an Ugin that just went to 11 points after getting to use their +2, it's a game changer, because we get to throw down everything, including Tezzeret. And once Tezzeret comes down, we're basically playing everything else in our deck for free. So a few changes that I think I would make right off the bat is I think I would play 2 less Ugin the Spear Dragons and go grab Ugin the Ineffables, so that we can, in fact, play our colorless for cheaper. But that's hindsight 2020. I hope that you got to at least enjoy a little bit of some of the content that I'm throwing out here. Going forward in the future, I'm going to hope to have webcam here shortly, so I can start showing all my face reveal here. But with that, I appreciate it. All who see this video and watch it to the end, I appreciate you. And until next time, DasDemands is out.